to Grow Food, a guide to building community. Um, the first thing I would say is when you are in a space where you are not where you want to be, and you know in your heart what you should do, it can feel overwhelming and like you're being set up to fail. And so I want to kind of provide this video to kind of build the foundational building blocks to what I've learned, to how to start where you are. I think the first step is setting an intention and knowing where you want to go. And so that's indulging in your senses, and allowing yourself to, for me, it started off like watching the vloggers that, were on farms and watching people who had the ideal, to help build up that reservoir of knowledge. But the next thing that I did was to start where I was. I hate when people say like, start where you are, and they don't tell you, what does that mean? Like, for me, what that meant was, here's what I have. I have a kitchen. I have the ability to get or already have things like flour, sugar, butter, things like that. So instead of thinking about it like I have to do all these things, I have to be completely self-sufficient, what I thought about it was, I'm building the building blocks to getting there. So maybe instead of going like, well, I'll make big bread, but that's not big enough, it's going, well, yes, it will be in comparison when I'm making all those things together. So I would start with the things that I could do, which was making bread. I found a recipe, and really you have to allow the universe to speak to you, or allow God to speak to you, or whoever you want to do that, but it will come out, and you have to allow yourself to indulge when it comes up. So for instance, there was a lady that I liked watching her vlogs, and she made this like Amish homemade bread, and it looked so easy. Because the thing about making bread at first was, it was like, this is a lot of steps, this is a lot of time, like I'm not sure, because I'm not used to doing this kind of thing. And it was like one rise, it was very simple ingredients, it was very easy to do, and I was very excited to do it. And you have to allow yourself to be excited, and you have to allow yourself to gravitate to the things you're gravitating to, because they build on top of one another. And so I started making the bread, and then I said, well, how am I gonna keep doing this? I don't really know. Well, then I printed out the recipe, and then I adjusted it as I thought, and I kept it in a binder. I said, okay, this is my binder for recipes. And as I found things that intrigued me, recipes, HelloFresh has recipes that they used to, I don't know, but if you can get the little box, like, keep the recipes, add to them, write them down. I would just keep a binder full of that. It's nothing fancy. It really wasn't a fancy recipe. It was like a 3-inch binder, super simple. And then as you start moving, things start coming to you. So if you've been on this channel long enough, you know that one of the things that I said when I had the first instinct to prepare was, how am I going to do this? I don't have enough money. And God's answer is always what's in your hand. And I remember looking at the mail, something that I throw out all the time. And that day I just kind of paused, and I looked, and I saw the ad, and I looked, and I was like, oh, this has always been in my hand the whole time. I just never pay attention to it. So allow yourself to be drawn to things, and allow yourself to flow with the things that get pulled to you. So looking at the ads, seeing the things that are low priced, and literally what I did was, if it was celery, I would take the celery, chop it up, put it in the freezer. When was I going to use it? I don't know, but I knew I used celery. Same with the onions. Instead of letting the onions go bad, same with the peppers. Instead of letting the peppers go bad, let me just chop these up. Then an opportunity came up to buy a dehydrator that was, 20 or 30 bucks. Okay, I have 20, 30 bucks. Let me do that. And as bigger things came along, like the stimulus check and all the other things, it came along so that I could, buy my I think I bought a Bluetti, things like that, because I didn't know another time would I'd have $1,000 free. So, I think allow yourself to flow into the things that you think, I'm sorry, I'm in a parking lot, are small, but they're really big actions. They add up. And it's not that they add up, it's that those are really actually big actions. Like the world that you're trying to go into, growing food, is actually very, very simple. Creating community is very, very simple. So in the second part of creating community, what I want to say is, there's more than just you in this world that's advocating for this. And so when I set this intention, I was like, I don't really know how to do this, because people around me aren't open to this. Well, one day I went into work, and I've been asking God for, to get unwashed eggs, like chicken eggs. I wanted to get them from a farmer. Like I wanted the whole thing, especially to preserve them, because you're liming them, they have to have the coat on them, and all eggs sold in the store are washed, so I couldn't really lime the eggs. Well, I went to work one day, and my coworker, she said, oh, my mom has a farm. She knew nothing about what I was doing. My mom has a farm, and she's selling eggs for $3 if anybody wants them, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh my god, I couldn't believe it. So I jumped on that, you know, because she was like, she doesn't wash them, just so you know. And I was like, that's perfect, I can keep them on the counter, like and I now have something outside of the grocery store where I can get this from. This is great. And it was great, it was absolutely great. Beautiful, like Easter egg colored eggs. But then the first egg crisis hit, where there was no eggs in the store, and my family did not feel the lack, because we had a resource, but also we had built that community. Because at the same time that happened, and I had someone that I could reach out for and just say, hey, here's $3, can I have, you know, eggs? I found a local farmers market, a real one, with local distributors who, you know, they drove up 45 minutes or whatever. And I found so many things in my local area and so many people that I could start building relationship with. I think one of the things that I hate about this conversation is how vague it is. It's like, it's so hard to build community in this day and age, because it just feel like that nobody wants to. But, you know, I think we overcomplicate it. It's not really that hard. Community building is just as simple as, I want to be around you, I want to be with you, I like you, and that's it. Or you provide a service to me. But either way, it is just connecting. It is just simply that. So you're building community when you say, hey, here's $3 for the eggs, because that person really needs the $3 and you really need the eggs. Christ. Sorry. And as you continue to interact with them, you do build that relationship, and you learn that people are able to take on your best interests. People are able to consider that, hey, you know, Farron really likes these color eggs, so I'll try putting these in her basket. As you work with the other farmers, Farron really likes this cut of meat, so I'll put it aside, and you'll start learning what they like. And you have to allow yourself to do those things, though. You have to allow yourself to feel joy. You have to allow yourself to be weird, which is when you come across something at the Goodwill or the store, you go, oh, you know what, this person would really like that. Like, get it. You know, don't be like, well, they're a farmer, and like, I don't really know, and I don't want to be offensive. No, if you want to be friends, be friendly. Building community, you know, and growing food is hand in hand. It's the same idea. We overcomplicate it. Just start moving. Just start moving in the ways that you desire, and be willing to follow your desires and say, I just wanted to do this because, and it doesn't have to make sense. Until next time.